Hey everybody, it's the top of the hour, it's 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us, thanks for being prompt about it, unlike, most people all the time. So the show will be getting started in just a couple minutes. Give you a little chance here to share the link around, get a snack, hit the potty, whatever you need to do to be ready for live comedy in the apocalypse starting in 3 minutes. We'll be right back. See you then. Well, welcome to the virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for live comedy in the apocalypse. Please welcome to the stage your host, screen, your host and the car alarm, Maddie Nishimi.
Yeah, it's me. I'm on the screen, maybe. I have no idea. I don't have the window open. Welcome to Stab's Open Mic Comedy in the Apocalypse. Every Tuesday night at 7, you should come here and watch it wherever you are watching it right now, because it's a lot of places. If you're on Twitch, you can use your Amazon Prime to get a free subscription. Every Amazon Prime account gets one. Or you can pay $5 to get a subscription, and that's good because we want money. We all want money. You think you want money more than us. You don't. We want it more. I'll do jokes now. I got laid off before I finished job training. I got hired by a baseball stadium, and then the government said, there's no more baseball games. And so now, instead of having a part-time job as a cashier, I have a full-time job selling fruit on Animal Crossing. I've been trying to lose weight in the quarantine because, got to try to do something productive. And in doing that, I was reading everything, all types of things that tell you what to do and watching videos and stuff. And I found one woman who said something so revolutionary. She starts off her little statement. She goes, "Hi, my name's Jennifer, and I never wanted to be overweight. I have to confess, I actually don't know if her name was Jennifer or if she sounded that way. But as soon as she said, I never wanted to be overweight, I named her Jennifer and I gave her that voice. Because, I don't know what she was thinking. Like, did she think there's people who actually want to be overweight? Like, honestly, I know when I started on antidepressants, I was just itching for that weight gain side effect to happen to me. And when it did, I was like, thank God. I have been wanting to be at higher risk for diabetes and heart disease. And I have also been wanting to have it harder to find clothing in my size. I can say worse. I don't know why people are always spending all this time trying to lose weight, paying for gym memberships and stuff. I'm trying to look like the Lena Dunham of my friend group. Shout out to girls. In the quarantine and all of this time off, I've been watching a lot of Top Chef. It's one of my new favorite shows. And something I've noticed on like the last couple seasons of Top Chef is the judges pretty much every week. One of them will say, this dish had a good point of view or it lacked point of view. And you're like, well, that's stupid because food doesn't have a point of view. But we're all wrong. For example, a granola bar. They believe in the Green New Deal and they take all of their first dates hiking. Smoothie bowls believe in the healing power of essential oils and they ask you your astrology sign as soon as they see you. Quesaritos believe in the legalization and the decriminalization of marijuana, and microwave dinners are all divorced alcoholics, and the only thing they believe in is pain. One last little thing before I hand it off to our next comic. A lot of people have been struggling because they couldn't get a haircut, and I've been pretty proud of myself for not giving myself a haircut because a while back that happened to me. I woke up at 3 a.m. Because I'm mentally ill, and I thought it would be a good idea to give myself bangs. Also, probably because I'm mentally ill. And surprisingly, it was not a good idea. And for about 6 months, my hair was like a measuring stick for how long it had been since I had a mental breakdown. Or at least that mental breakdown. That's the end of all of the jokes that I'm going to do for you guys today, but I'm going to hand it off to another great comedian. He's one of my favorites here. Let's give it to the man, the myth, the legend, David Thorne. Computers.
How is everybody doing tonight? I'm taking the bullet, so let's do some suicide jokes. I've actually never attempted suicide because I have what's called aticophobia. For those of you that don't know, aticophobia is the fear of failure. A security guard art museum. It was a really depressing time for me. And, I spoke with one of my coworkers about it, and she told me, David, you're special, like a priceless work of art. So I was like, thanks. What you're saying is I need to hang myself in an art museum? Birthdays are fun when you have suicidal thoughts. People always tell you, hope all your birthday wishes come true. It's fucked up, Mom. Yeah, people keep telling me to hang in there. But, I go to the psychiatrist and I talk to him about it. I was telling him, how I have suicidal thoughts. And he's like, David, you're not planning on acting on those thoughts, are you? I'm like, no. I'm way too lazy for that shit. I'm going to wait for somebody to come and do it for me. I mean, it's normal to have thoughts like that, I guess. I mean, I think about sex all the time and I don't do it. I'm sure one day that I will, though. Sex. But seriously, though, I mean, comedy's helped me a lot with this, and I'm so glad I started doing it. There's been so many helpful and supportive people that have helped me out. Just the other day, I was outside the comedy club telling one of my fellow comedians how I didn't have a place in my apartment sturdy enough to hang myself. He told me that he had a stud finder and he let me borrow it. Now, anyway, I don't know if that's been a full 5 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and give it back to your host, Maddie. Thank you very much.
Everyone clap with your computers or phones. It's so normal. It's so not weird at all. All right, we got a couple more comedians for you. And your next one is another very funny guy. Let's clap more at our computers for Derek Dozier.
Good evening out there, comedy people. I just first wanted to say hello out there, Mark Zuckerberg. Did you guys know that there's a nonprofit organization that's helping Mark Zuckerberg? There's a nonprofit organization trying to find Mark Zuckerberg's actual friends and just talk to him like, hey, stop selling out to Russia. It's a bad move. And I've been donating to that. We're just trying to convince Mark Zuckerberg not to be a robot. That is the goal of that would be a big win for all of us. Our secondary goal is to find Tom from MySpace and see if he has any friends left. That we're gonna make a documentary about that on Kickstarter. I've also been thinking a lot about, people not paying taxes and all of the churches that are not paying taxes during this pandy. We're all paying taxes, but churches aren't paying taxes. But I feel like if a church isn't going to pay taxes, then they're not allowed to give people promise rings, and make them promise not to fuck each other. Like if you want to give people promise rings, you're not allowed to be tax exempt anymore. But I really think the top of the list thing to lose your tax exempt status is if you're doing any big bad choral music songs, you just can't be tax exempt. That is a step too far. I don't care if you're Mormons, there's gay men's choruses in any major city and they sing well. They're singing well together. There's a standard to be set. You have to sing better or hang it up or pay for your bad singing. I wanted to tell you, have you ever seen anybody like riding two bicycles at once? Like seeing someone trying to balance and maintain riding on two bicycles. I never think they're just dropping off a bike to a friend. It seems like they've got a friend at the other end of this trip like, oh, hey, pal, here's a bicycle for you. Here. It always seems like they had one bicycle and acquired a second bike on the way home. I'm just saying, if you see someone riding a bicycle while wearing rollerblades, they seem untrustworthy. Only one mode of transportation at a time. Otherwise, it's just creepy. You're creeping people out. I want to think about churches again a little bit, I've been thinking about God. I miss God, I gave God up. I gave God up a while ago, but I miss God. And I think like a church that could get me back into God, could be like the kind of church, that give tattoos for charity. If they do tattoo fundraisers, and then you see like the preachers, and all the preachers have tattoos for their different causes, And so if I were to show up at a church and they were to be like, oh, trans rights matter, I'm like, holy shit, this is the church I want to be at. I'm going to hang out here. I'm at least going to give them a chance, Like, they seem to be popular amongst their friends, and they have a message that I care about. I'll listen to what they think about Jesus, I think that's all I want to do for you. Thank you so much. It's good to see you guys. Thank you, Stab. Thank you, Maddie. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Yeah, great job. Assuming that no one shows up, which is what it's looking like, we have 2 comics left. So let's give it up for your next comic, Erica Atreya.
Okay, hello everybody.
Mhm.
I hope we can stay long enough for, I think you have one more comic that's going to try to show up. Okay, so what have I got going on? So I recently found out that I can't have kids, and I'm waiting for all the oohs and ahs. Ah! Well, thank you. So yeah, my apartment building doesn't allow them. So my husband and I, we got a cat. I've had a lot of friends since this happened. Funny that Derek was talking about church. Well, here I am talking about religion. But yeah, so I have a lot of friends who keep telling me they're going to pray for me and asking if, I would like them to pray for me. And, I've always been kind of iffy about that working. But I think in this situation, I don't want anybody trying to pray a baby into me. I don't think that's something that, please don't. Let me just say that. I've seen Rosemary's Baby. I've seen Devil's Advocate. I've seen Immaculate Conception. I'm just not interested. How that went for Mary and her kid. I don't pray baby, please. What else do I got going on here? I'm not that sad about not having children. I'm almost 44. I'm really not that bothered by it. There are a few things I think I'm really going to miss that I would have loved to have been able to do. One in particular is, being able to, hold that against my husband, or use the children as collateral towards anybody who loves them, because that's something I've seen a lot of in my family and friends and such. And I'm never going to be able to say to my husband, if you don't shape up, you're not going to see your kid. Come on, get your act together, buddy. It's always going to be, me running out the door with, our cat Mia, basically just like, hey, you don't shape up, you're never going to pet this pussy again, That's about as far as I get to go with the children collateral thing. Gosh, I don't think I have a lot more to say, except I have to go back. The praying thing is a real thing, and I still don't really fully get it. People asking if, they can pray for me. It's something I've asked other people, and some other friends have said, oh no, they've never had someone do that, which is weird because I just made Christian friends since I moved to Folsom 5 years ago. Like, I'm from San Jose. I've never known a Christian. My mom was Catholic, my dad was Jewish. Never known a Christian, and pardon me if anybody is, but it's a very weird thing to have friends of mine asking to pray for me, and then knowing that not other people have had that, suggested to them. So it makes me feel a little scared that people do say this to me for real. And just my thought is if you have that power to actually, you and your congregation, to help people, don't ask me, just pray for me. Please pray for my soul, pray for everything about me, because if you got that power, do it, man, And that's about all I got to say. I wish I could longer, because I want us to wait for Miss Dozy. So that's it. That's all I got. Love you guys. Bye.
Yeah. We love you too. We all love each other.
Love you guys.
Assuming nobody shows up in the next 5 minutes, then we have one more comic left, and he's one of my favorite comics ever. He's the moderator of this room. Let's give it up for Buddy.
Hey. Hi guys. Happy Monday. Or whatever day it is. I think in the apocalypse, days don't really matter anymore. Neither do pants. Honestly, 3 months ago, if you would have asked me to wear pants, I would have been upset, but I at least would have done it. Now I feel like my life is being threatened every time I have to wear pants, every time I have to button them. Somehow they seem to get tighter, which I don't understand how pants work like that, but they just keep getting tighter. I've mostly lived off of a diet of hard ciders and crazy bread from Little Caesars. Turns out that, that is a full meal. Product review, the new crazy bread with cheese in it, really good. just in case you were wondering. Also, during the apocalypse, because I've been alone, I've also become an expert on sex. Yeah, don't laugh at that. That's real. Not that I've been having it or anything, but I have, been studying a lot. So like, I found out some facts. Like, did you guys know that males ejaculate within 3 minutes of sex 90% of the time? That's basically facts. So I honestly don't want to hear any more complaints, ladies. Also, did you know that 73% of Japanese women own a vibrator, while the national average, the worldwide average, is only 47%. So I guess they were lying when they said that size doesn't matter. Most of the people in this room probably already know, but those watching at home might not know, but you're probably thinking it to yourself. You're thinking, that guy has a broken dick. It's weird. And it's true, I do. But it works, just in case you're wondering at home. It's just that I had broken it in a tickle fight when I was younger, so kind of has a weird lean now. I've been working in offices for a little over a decade now, so I have been, I've been successful in working in offices, and I have a little advice for those who work in offices or those trying to get a job in an office. Maybe if you decide to get high before work, and let's just say you forget to clear eyes those red eyes, I have a lie you can tell them. When somebody asks you why your eyes are red, you can just say, well, I was up all night with my dog, and my dog had kidney stones, and they'll be so worried about your poor dog that they won't even think that you might be high before the 10 a.m. meeting. The thing is, you have to remember your lie, because if the warehouse guy asks you and you say something different, you might have to spend your lunch taking a piss test. Because you're not clean, obviously, you're going to have to call your uncle to pee into a condom for you. And when you get to the pee place, you're going to forget to bring something to poke that condom, and you're going to have to use your teeth. And then when you hand your piss to the pee boy, you're going to have to look him dead in the eye and explain to him that you're just a really bad aim. Either that or don't get high before work. Those are the only two options. Looks like we're going to be able to get our last two comics in, which is awesome. So I'm just going to come out and say what we're all thinking, what we're all here, thinking to ourselves. Women are mean. And honestly, yeah, I am looping every woman in because of one bad date experience I had. But for the apocalypse, I had met this woman off of the Tinders, and we go on a date, and we're having a good time and stuff. And she says to me, buddy, I usually have a type, I tend to date jocks, which we all know is code for no fat guys. But she says, buddy, I have a type. I tend to date jocks. But you're so funny. You made me laugh so much. I'm just so glad I forced myself to come out with you. And at that moment, I had two thoughts in my head. One, how fucking fat am I? And two, how hot does this girl think she is to just openly say that to my face? Because I have really bad anxiety, what I said was, haha, yeah, me too. I think now I'm going to hand it back over to our amazing host, because it looks like our last two comics have made it or are going to make it. So that's very awesome. Let's give it back to Maddie.
Yay! I love Buddy. What a man. We have another great comic coming up for you. She's another one of my favorites. She's zooming somewhere. Let's give it up for Heather Rogiers.
Hey everyone, how's it going? So listen, I might have to hold real still, just periodically, because there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex hunting for me, and I don't want him to catch me. So if I freeze like this, I'll start moving again in a minute. It's just, we got to evade the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Also, you know, I'm a little bit shaky cam. Sorry for doing this Blair Witch style. I'm actually driving right now, which is great. I'm experimenting, you know, with all the different ways you can screw up a Zoom show. So this is my new way of screwing up your Zoom show. It's a lot of fun. I'm really happy to be here. You know, I mean, not on the show, just like where I am physically. It's very beautiful. I'm driving up the Shasta right now. It's gorgeous. Having a great time. I'll just get into my material. So I missed my period. Again. I'm getting a little bit worried, you know. I'm afraid. I'm hoping I'm not pregnant. I can't have a kid. It's funny, you know. I can't afford one. Not in this economy. The economy's so bad. I was trying to get a job the other day, and they just offered to sell me their business. So now I'm owner of a Christian bookstore in Wairika. You guys can drop by anytime. If you're in the area, you know, it might be fun. We're passing a motorcyclist right now, so that's great. I hope that the wind isn't hurting anything too much. I don't care, whatever. What other jokes do I? Oh, so a lot of the guys I date turn out gay. It's kind of an issue that I'm having, you know? It's not my fault. I can't just turn you gay, right? Like, I can't just snap my fingers. I have to say the magic words first, you know? Diggity, daggity, David Beckham! You are now a gay man. Did I get anybody? It's like I got some of you. I swear I got some of you. But then that's just the beginning. Then you have to figure out what kind of gay you are, right? And there's a lot of variety. That's like buying a snack at 7-Eleven, you know? You could get a Bear Claw, you could get an Otter Pop, a Twinkie. Looking at the audience right now, I see Derek, you kind of look like the hard-boiled egg in the plastic wrapper. I see someone's wearing a pirate hat. I honestly don't know which snack that is, but it lights up, so I guess you're some Skittles or something like that. I don't know. I'm just gonna abandon this whole premise halfway. Let's see here. So I got hit by oh wait, let me do this one. So I pee standing up, which is fun. You know, I didn't at first, but then when I actually got into the public bathroom, I realized everyone was standing up because it's disgusting in there. I can just aim better, you know. But I always get worried, like, what if my pee sounds different, right? Because, like, you can lose your job if you're pregnant, you know? That joke, actually, that got ruined because now you can't lose your job for being transgender. So that's just another thing that Trump's Supreme Court has taken away from me. That joke. So aggravating. Now they can only fire me for being a terrible employee. Yeah, I got hit by a bike messenger the other day. Not while driving. I was walking. It would have been nice if I were driving, right? It would be a different story. But he was also yelling something at me. He was like, "I'm on your left," which was BS, right? He was not on my left, okay? I'm a transgender socialist. You can't be further left than me. You're a bike messenger, not Fidel Castro. I don't know a whole lot about communism, but I feel like you should know how to share the road. All I gotta say, thank you so much. This was a terrible experiment, but it kind of worked out, didn't it? You were laughing. I was having the stakes were low enough. I didn't give a shit. So it actually kind of worked out, didn't it? Right now, the lighting's so bad on my mouth, it almost looks holy. It's like I'm sucking God's dick. All right, you guys, thank you so much for putting me on. I had a blast. I love you. I'll see you next week.
Woo! Wow. That was a better set than any of us have ever done. ever.
Look at her on the
we got,
road.
we got one more great comic for you before you can return to watching whatever you were watching before you started watching us. Let's give it up for Ayla Dozier.
Hi guys. Okay, this is my second time. I haven't written any BLM jokes, so enjoy these quarantine jokes as if there isn't a revolution of racial justice happening in the world right now. I'll start with some of my worst moments from the quarantine so far. I'm a dog walker, and I've still been working. Last week, I forgot to wear a mask, and one day I was walking 3 dogs, and a guy came within 6 feet of us, and he got bit by a dog. They pick up on my energy. There's nothing I could have done. Nothing I could have done there. A few days later, I was on the toilet, and I realized I had to take my tampon out because the string reached down and touched the water in the toilet bowl while I was sitting there. And the worst part is, I think I may have used that same toilet earlier that day with the same tampon and just didn't realize how shallow the bowl was or how long the string was. So, not my favorite reason to take out a tampon or to wash my vulva. Okay, so last bad story. Okay, I've been attending a 12-step group on Zoom since quarantine started. I wanted to record this prayer that a woman was sharing, but also I really had to pee. So without asking for permission, which this is a prayer she ended up sharing later, the text of it, but I'm like, oh, freaking out, like, oh, I need to record this prayer. I didn't even end up liking the prayer that much, but so I start recording, reading this prayer while I'm on the toilet, and I'm holding my pee just to make sure my pee doesn't encroach upon the recording or the Zoom call. Yeah, the prayer ended up getting emailed out to the group anyways. But so it hasn't been all bad. For those who don't know me, I identify as a pansexual, and just recently learned I'm demisexual as well. So even before the coronavirus, I'm a walking, talking pandemic. I also have anxiety, and after years of being an anxious person, stressed out about making eye contact with strangers, I can finally cross the street whenever I see someone coming. That feels really nice. I feel even more safe being able to cover my face in public, using my eye to smile at someone, but also include a hint of, why are you so close? Back the fuck away from me. And that's polite now, and I love it. So, it's pretty wild that kids can't go to school. I saw a little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, riding her bike on the sidewalk, seemingly new, purple helmet and pink bike, and she's riding down the sidewalk, but she's also crying, like, with her whole face, like children do. And, she's riding her bike and crying. Like, I didn't see any adults around. She looked like her parents made her ride her bike as punishment for asking them too many questions. Her parents were like, I better not see your feet off those pedals until I call you in for dinner. Like, parents are getting creative with discipline during the quarantine. And it's weird for students. Graduating students can't celebrate in person or large groups. I've seen electronic billboards on the freeway showing students' full names, photos, and the school they graduated from. What a nice way to celebrate these youngsters. I just hope and pray to the universe that the child advertisement isn't showing when a human trafficker passes by. But I think that might be 5 minutes. Okay, I'll just read the rest of this little note. Okay, so I think lockdown has been good for sex shops. People have been using their dildos more often. Amazon delivery drivers have been questioning the essential nature of the dildo. I feel like people are probably sexting more often too. I was in an unsolicited dick video, and I don't do a lot of sexting or naked photo sending. I'm not the sexy photo type. I want my selfies to be attractive, yet also gender neutral and rated G. Thank you guys for having me. Thanks, buddy.
Yay. Maddie.
That's the end of all our comics. Are you talking now, buddy? Okay. Well, it's your face there. That's the end of our comics. That's the end of the show. I hope you all had a good time and laughed a little bit. And now I hope you go laugh some more watching something else.
Yay. Woo! Yeah. Thank you guys. Happy Tuesday.
Okay.
Comedy.